Hey Dramaverse, it's India back yet again. I just want to let you guys know I'll be uploading videos on Fridays instead of Mondays. Mondays never really work for me and Fridays are better than Mondays. That's just a fact. I've always associated good things with Fridays after experiencing the magic that was TGIF, Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World. You know what I'm talking about. NBC's romantic comedy One More Happy Ending, which follows 4 middle-aged women looking for love, which sounds awfully similar to another show that was about 4 middle-aged women looking for love, but just stay with me. So the 4 women are Han Mi-mo, Go Dong-mi, Baek Do-jung, and Hong Ye-ran. At one point in time, these women were 4 of the 5 members of an idol group called Angels. They're like a milder version of the Spice Girls, basically. Just like any idol group ever, they are forced to disband after too much infighting, mainly thanks to the 5th and most popular member, Gu So-ra, who was obviously the ginger spice of the group. Now, Han Mi-mo is now a matchmaker who really concentrates on divorced singles, and she's also looking to get married herself after her first marriage basically fell apart. She finds out that her current boyfriend has been cheating on her with Ginger Spice. Gu So-ra. It's a shame because she was so devoted to him. She was giving him everything, all that joy can bring. This she swears. And all that she wanted from him is a promise that he'll be there. She eventually finds that her neighbor is Song Soo-huk, a widowed father, tabloid reporter, and also a childhood classmate of hers, which she had some unpleasant run-ins with when they were younger. She ends up having a few too many drinks with him, and they end up trying to go to the registry office to get married.
Would you marry me?
Absolutely.
It's all very Ross and Rachel. The marriage doesn't really happen, and she ultimately ends up falling in love with a doctor. This doctor ends up being Soo-hyuk's best friend. It's an interesting turn, but it really is pretty hilarious. Go Dong-mi is single and she doesn't like it one bit. While I do believe in having standards, I think her standards are a bit too high.
제 요구 조건은 매우 심플합니다. 청바지에 흰 티가 시크하게 어울리는 남자, 밥을 많이 먹어도 복근이 사라지지 않는 남자.
She's getting a little desperate, and for some reason I feel like she's my spirit animal. I also relate to her hair so much. Baek Do-jung is actually the only one in the group that's married, or I should say still married. But the thing is, her marriage is secretly falling apart thanks to fertility issues and just a lack of communication, and she's also finding out she has some health issues as well. So it's all just bad things happening at once. There's a part of me that's hoping that she can actually work it out with her husband, because I think her husband really does love her. You can never give up on the good times. You gotta believe in the love you find. Lastly, we have Hong Ye-ran, who's engaged to what seems like a really nice guy, but she's either not ready to settle down or she's just not feeling it. There's something that's holding her back. She comes off as incredibly selfish for this, but I think it's brave to acknowledge that something doesn't feel right. It's important to tell someone what you want, what you really, really want. My only problem is that she waited until the very last minute to say she was having doubts. Girl, do you know how expensive weddings are? Do you know deposits are not refundable? That's just rude. You should have just said earlier on, stop right now. Thank you very much. Does it use a lot of drama plot devices that we're used to seeing? Yes. But it does it in a way that's so over the top and hilarious that it's almost making fun of those cliches, and it still finds a way to surprise us. The show seems fully self-aware, so it has some fantasy elements to it and knows when to pull back when things are getting a little out of hand. They're more making fun of the idea that most women base their ideal romance on things we've seen in movies and dramas. Of course, I'm still very much convinced I will one day marry Hyunbin. That is one dream that no one will talk me out of. Ever. I'm mainly watching this for Jung Kyung-ho and Jang Nara. They're both genuinely funny and they play so well off of each other. I also like the idea of the characters having to unravel all the things that happened when they were drunk. It's always easy to wake up the next morning and blame all the things you said or did on alcohol, but the truth is, the only thing that alcohol does is lower our inhibitions. So the things that you do or say when you're drunk are things that you want to do or say when you're sober. Sure, Soo-hyuk and Mimo are lonely people, but we all know there's some deep-rooted reason they went from 0 to 100 by turning a few too many drinks into a reason to want to get hitched. And if alcohol was the real culprit, then Soo-hyuk wouldn't be bothered by Mimo dating his best friend when he's sober. I mean, I'm sure he has done almost everything to interrupt any special time they have together. I mean, it's funny, but I can also see how that would be completely annoying for Mimo. The show is off the wall. It's also really funny, and I appreciate that we get to explore different stages in a woman's life once she reaches her 30s. We've all been told the same thing as we were growing up. Get married, have kids, do all this by at least 30, and oh yeah, make sure you get it right. There's nothing wrong with wanting and having that, but we've all been programmed to chase happily ever after. No one ever really tells us what to do if our happily ever after crumbles, or if it doesn't come within the timeline we've been given. Wouldn't it be great if we as women were taught that our happily ever after is whatever the hell we want it to be? It's important to understand that we're all allowed second chances. Hell, we're allowed second, third, fourth, fifth chances. We're allowed as many chances as we can possibly get, because we're all gonna need them. And anyone who is holding those chances against you is wasting your precious time. If they want your future, then they gotta forget your past. Although I highly suggest you run away from anyone who says they really want to zig-a-zig ah. Sounds uncomfortable, and I just think it would be wise to steer clear of anyone who says that's what they want. Thanks for watching, and remember, anyone who tells you that everything doesn't lead back to Spice Girls is lying to you, and you should stay away from that person.